Making the Lord of the Rings trilogy was a huge undertaking. What made you do it the second time?
Well, there's part of you that thinks it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but on the other hand, did I really want anyone else to do it? Not really. No. I mean, this is Tolkien. I mean, it's one of the great English authors, one of the great sagas, and The Hobbit is a very integral part of that, because so much of what happens in The Lord of the Rings is born within the pages of The Hobbit. Bilbo finding the ring is the catalyst for the entire Lord of the Rings, and yet at the same time, one of the appeals is that it's a different story as well. It's not The Lord of the Rings Part 4, it's its own story, and that appealed to me, as did the comedy, the humour, the kind of the lighter tone. Certainly with Martin Freeman playing Bilbo, you've got an actor who can just play incredible ironic satire, and so that it just felt very different. That was certainly a lot of the appeal to me.
How important was it to get Martin Freeman as Bilbo?
Critical. I don't know. I think the films would have suffered enormously if we hadn't been able to cast Martin, because I literally couldn't think of anyone else that would do as good a job. It was essential that we got him, and in order to get Martin, we had to stop filming halfway through to let him go and do his second series of Sherlock, because he had a prior commitment to that, and so part of the arrangement was to allow him to go back, which was us stopping shooting for 8 weeks, which is pretty unheard of in a major film like this. You don't just stop filming because of an actor's availability. You would normally recast the role if that was, but we didn't want to do that. We wanted Martin so badly.
And Hobbit is a shorter book than Lord of the Rings. Why did you choose to make it into a trilogy?
It's misleading in a way. It surprised us when we really sat down to start to adapt it, because we were breaking it out into a treatment. We were looking at the character development, because one of the things I guess is missing in The Hobbit is character development, character conflict, that sort of depth of storytelling. That is there in Lord of the Rings, but not so much in The Hobbit, because it's written for a younger audience. And we wanted to apply the same writing style and the same character development as we did in The Lord of the Rings. We wanted to feel like the same filmmakers are telling the story. So, but by the time we developed the characters within the sort of the episodic kind of action story that Tolkien wrote, that expanded it, plus the addition of extra material that we took from The Return of the King, the appendices at the end of Return of the King, starting to work on that. A lot more of that's going to be in the second and third film. So that kind of ended up with the three, where we are with the three movies.
And watching the film gave me at least this feeling of kind of warm feeling of going back to Middle Earth. How important do you think sense of escapism is in movies like this and fantasy genre?
Well, escapism is the reason why I make movies. They're the films I like to see. Hitchcock had a great quote where he said, some people's movies are slices of life, mine are slices of cake. And I always love that quote, because that's my philosophy, is the more cake the better, really.
And is there any chance of seeing one more Tolkien movie, like a story out of Silmarillion?
At the moment, that's impossible, because those film rights are not available. The Tolkien estate control those, and they have no interest in a Silmarillion film ever being made. But maybe over the years that situation will change. It'll depend entirely on the Tolkien estate selling the film rights to that book.
But you don't rule it out yourself?
I have to rule it out until they decide they want to see a film made, and then it'll depend if I'm alive still. It might be many years from now, and I might be long dead. So who knows? We'll have to just wait and see.